morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever this video finds you. Welcome to Ticks. I know I'm kind of getting back into the flow of things. This will probably be the last day of this week that I'll have to myself. This beautiful Sunday evening. We went to go see He-Man. Why do I keep looking this way? We went to go see He-Man today, and it was worth it. It was worth it. He-Man was some soy boy, little loser, who had to learn how to be a man. He had to shake off that soy boy crap, that liberal garbage. He shook that off and became who he's supposed to be, which is He-Man. And I have a newfound respect for He-Man. That third act, and woo! But Skeletor made the movie. Whoever was the voice of Skeletor, they deserve an award. They deserve an Oscar. They they were literally Skeletor. He was a good villain. He was a damn good villain. Little Annie from Community, yeah, she made a good evil Lynn. I give her props. And whoever the woman was that played Tila, she was pretty good. But let's get into why we're here. So apparently, yeah, I would say it's Mandalorian and Grogu was better, but He-Man was a surprise. But that's not what we're here to talk about. So apparently, Trump walked out of an interview with Kristen Welker, the NBC reporter. I don't know what happened there. I saw like a minute up until he walked off, but the minute that I saw was him kind of lambasting her before he got up and left. But I kind of get the feeling that it had something to do with the Iran situation. So based on that, apparently Trump wants to clean house of the intelligence agents, because if you really ask me, and I said this about a month or so ago, I was saying that in all honesty, what Trump needs to do, he needs to order 66 all of the leaders that are governing Iran, which they did. I think they took out about 64 of them or whatnot, but clearly it wasn't enough, because the thing with Islamists is that they are psychopaths. Let's just be honest. Let me bring this down a little bit. There we go. They're psychopaths. These people are devout. They really think that they're going to go to heaven and have 72 virgins mixed in with animals and children and women. I mean, you're talking about people who uses their religion to justify raping animals and children. You understand? You're talking about people who uses their religion to justify poverty. These people are psychopaths. And they're very devout. There's some serious zealots. So even though you may have the janitor calling the shots, the janitor is a devout Islamist, which means that you need to take out the janitor. You have to order 66, the janitor, the cleaning lady, whoever's in charge over there in Iran. And I remember them asking Marco Rubio, hey, are you trying to force a regime change over in Iran? And he was like, no. Even Trump was like, no, we want these people to go ahead and be able to govern themselves. But the thing about it is that they're terrorist leadership, because let's be honest, Islamists are terrorists. Their terrorist leadership is so entrenched in their government that it's like cockroaches. You think you've killed them all, and next thing you know, you go in the kitchen, you cut on a light, and you see one scurrying across, or a couple of scurrying across your counter or your floor or something. You're like, damn, no matter how many roach traps and sprays and bombs or whatever, Get rid of If you can't get rid of the leadership, then you need to take out their arsenal. And that's what they did when all of this first started. The first attacks took out their major artillery depots, wiped them out. So they were just left with pea shooters and slingshots, but they still have them. You have to wipe all of that out. And in all honesty, it's almost at a point where I wouldn't say ground forces are needed. But you need to start using technology with these drones, these heat-seeking missiles, whatever you have. You need to start using that not only to take out their artillery, but you also have to start targeting some of these leaders who are deep in those bunkers. If you have to make another run with a B-52 bomber or whatnot, then do what you got to do, because it's getting ridiculous and it's dragging on to the point where even people who are diehard Trump supporters, even now they're starting to question what's going on. They're starting to scratch their heads. At any rate, let's get into this.
Really a choice. But, I want to ask you about this because Republicans have some of their own drama right now. Bill Pulte's nomination for acting DNI has, as you just heard, Democrats refusing to support FISA reauthorization. It's this critical surveillance tool that lets the country gather intelligence on foreign terrorists living abroad. The president says that he does not intend for Pulte to be in the role for that long. Given this risk to FISA, should he just pull him?
Well, before I talk about Bill Pulte, let me just talk about the importance of 702. This is a tool for our national security and our intelligence that has been instrumental to saving the lives of thousands of Americans. It allows us to get intel regarding foreign adversaries. It comprises about 63% of the president's daily brief. About 90% of our operations are informed by it. So to lose this tool would be catastrophic, which is why Tom Cotton, the chairman of Intel, and Chuck Grassley, the chairman of Judiciary, have sent a letter to Marco Rubio saying, get ready. If this authority ends, we have a real national security risk. There's very little connection between the DNI, the role of the DNI, and 702. The president has put Bill Pulte in there in an interim. Sadly, Tulsi Gabbard had a family crisis and had to resign somewhat abruptly. But he's made clear that he's going to put someone in that role that he's already considering. He's already have a number of candidates. And Bill Pulte is an interim choice. And it's very clear in the statute that you have to have national security experience to be able to fulfill that role on a permanent basis. And Bill Pulte doesn't have it. He did a fine job. He's doing a fine job in his current role, but he's not qualified to take on this role. And the president's acknowledged that.
So given that, do you think that the president should pull back from Pulte?
No, I think having him in there in an interim role is absolutely going to create the kind of continuity the president's looking for. He trusts Bill Pulte. And make no mistake about it, if the president's waking up in the middle of the night and has intel questions or national security questions, he's reaching out to John Ratcliffe, our CIA director, or Marco Rubio, our national security advisor. So the president's well served with his national security and intelligence officials, and Bill Pulte is going to be a temporary fix until we get the right qualified person in there permanently.
So however long he's there, the president has made clear that he wants Pulte to, get some things done. He said that he wants Pulte to fire a large number of employees. In an interview with the Wall Street Journal, the president said, "I'd like to see it smaller. I think there are a lot of people in there that shouldn't be there," Trump said, pointing to holdovers from the Biden and Obama administrations. Trump in the interview argued that Pulte's acting status is an asset. "You're less shackled," he said. "It sort of gives you more power, for a somewhat limited period of time." Are you comfortable with a big purge at an intelligence agency that?
I think the idea, when you go back to the original DNI concept, ODNI, what was imagined, it really has grown and ballooned in terms of its size. So I think the idea of streamlining the Office of DNI makes sense. It's more than 1,000 folks today. I don't think the originators ever imagined that. So the idea of going through it, streamlining, and sending those folks back to the agencies from which they came, I think has a lot of merit. As I said, my fellow Senator Tom Cotton, chairman of Intel, has made a similar point. And so that kind of reform and streamlining, I think, does make a lot of sense. Listen, our Intel community, like any other part of our government, is a mix of folks, but in general, it's the finest Intel set of organizations in the world, and we're fortunate to have them out in the front line. And I think getting more people out in the front line probably makes a lot of sense.
Okay, I want to get your response.
You know what?
To
that was bad. I'm thinking of Dan Bongino. Why not tap Bongino? Why not tap him? Put him in there. See what he can do. He's former Secret Service, former FBI. He clearly has the security clearance. He definitely believes in justice. That's why he quit. He didn't like what Pam Bondi was doing with the Epstein files and the garbage that she was pulling because she was ineffective and feckless and useless. Why not tap him? See what he can do. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there, but let's get to this interview. Let's see what happened here.
Set of U.S. airstrikes. Is the United States at war with Iran?
Well, they've been largely decapitated, and I call it a military exercise because people would rather have it called that. It's not a big...
You know what? I hate that he does this spray tan crap. I really hate that he does that. It is ridiculous. Dude, just have them put some powder on you, a little blush. You look ridiculous. Because, y'all think I just kiss Trump ass, but I don't. He looked ridiculous, but there are a lot of decisions that he's made that, as far as nationally and some globally, that I agree with. But this right here, this looks ridiculous. Stop it. Just stop it. Just stop it.
War for us. It's not. We have the most powerful military in the world. I built it, frankly. I built it in my first 4 years, and I'm using it a little bit in my second 4 years. Their Navy is gone. Their Air Force is gone. Their anti-aircraft is gone. They might have built it up a little bit over the last 4 weeks during this little ceasefire that we did at the request of some very good people, very, very fine people from, actually from numerous places. As you know, there are a lot of people involved, but from Pakistan in particular, the Field Marshal and the Prime Minister. And we're very close to having a deal. And if we don't have a deal, we'll do it one way or the other. Either way, we win.
I do want to talk about the terms of any potential
Sure.
deal in just a moment, but let me just follow up with you. You did post on social media just this week, my final negotiations to end the war with the Islamic Republic of Iran. There is a naval blockade in place,
Yeah.
which technically is an act of war under international law. So is this a war as long as there's a naval blockade in place?
Well, we have a blockade. It's been extremely effective. And the reason we have it is they try to blockade, and now we blockaded them. And as you know, they're losing $400 to $500 million a day. It's not sustainable for them. They have an economy that's shot in addition to everything else. Their leaders are gone. Their generals are gone. Their first tier and second tier are gone. Much of their third tier is gone. But they put up a blockade, and so we blockaded them, and we have the ultimate blockade. I don't consider that a war, but if you want to define it as such, I guess you can.
Well, how do you define it?
I don't define it at all. I don't think about it. I just do what I have to do.
But if you're not specifically calling it a war, would you consider sending some of the troops who are stationed there, who were sent because of Operation
You
Epic
mean
Fury
boots on the
there
ground?
home?
Are you
No,
talking
would you
about-
consider sending them home if it's not technically a war?
We don't need as many troops. I think it's just like it's on the to err on the side of caution. We have a lot of people there. They're very safe. If you think we beat Venezuela, we lost nobody. We took over the whole country. We lost nobody. We have a great relationship, by the way, with Venezuela. Venezuela is doing very well, but we lost nobody. We've lost 13 people here, and that's a lot. 13 people too many. But if you look at Vietnam, where hundreds of thousands of people were killed. If you look at any one of the last 7 or 8 wars where many, many people were killed, we lost 13. And again, 13 is too many. I don't want to lose any. But 13 is less than anybody's ever even envisioned. I think we're doing a great job.
Yeah, that's the why. You cannot say we're at war with Iran. I mean, it's like you being at war with your toddler. You're not at war with your toddler. Your toddler may kick you in the shin, may bite your arm or something like that, but they're not doing any damage. They might break the TV. All right, knock over your mother's vase and break it. They're not really doing any real damage. They're just throwing a tantrum, like, because you're not hurting us. Gas prices are up. Okay, so what? Gas prices are starting to drop. But the whole thing is that we're not at war. This is a skirmish, and we're dealing with entrenched psychological Islamists who are zealots. They really think that they're going to die and get 72 virgin animals and children. I mean, they're psychopaths. But I digress.
So are you saying you would consider sending some of the troops home, sir? Some of the 50,000 troops who were sent there as a part of Operation
I
Epic
would say
Fury?
this. It costs us very little to keep them there. I don't consider them in danger. We have the best defense anyone's ever seen. We have the best offense anyone's ever seen. So I don't consider it danger. I would say it would be foolhardy to do that, because maybe we may use them. It's unlikely, but I think we'll keep them there until such time as we have a completion. And when we have a completion, you will see things like you've never seen. The oil will go down. The stock market already, as you know, it's hit an all-time high. Even in the midst of it, it hit all-time highs. We had 73 all-time highs in a short period of time that I've been in office, which is a record, by the way. And, we're doing very well. But the main thing is we cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. Can't do it.
What is
we won't do it.
Yeah, you just referenced the 13 Americans who were killed. And I want to know what your red line is. What would trigger you to restart military action? Would it be Iran killing more American citizens?
Well, certainly that would be something that I would think about very seriously. But my red line would be if I think I wasn't going to make a deal, or if I wasn't going to make a deal fast enough. So we're having very good negotiations with the people that are leading the country now. It's the third group that we've been dealing with, and they are different. And you could say it's regime change, actually, because these are very different people. I find them to be more rational, very smart.
Who is that? Who's leading the country?
Well, I don't want to go into names, but you know who they are. I mean, they're leaders. They're respected by the people that have to respect them. They are calling the shots. We know that because we see it through various tests that we've given. It's a little bit strange because you have leaders that have been there for a long time and they get wiped out. Then you have leaders that you also know, the second tier, and they get wiped out. All of a sudden, we're dealing with different people. But no, I think that we'll either have something done fairly quickly or we'll finish it out militarily.
Are you talking about the son of the supreme leader?
Well, he's a part of it, yes.
He has not been seen in public. What is his status? Have you talked to him directly?
I do believe they have great respect for him. I see it. I mean, they want to get his concurrence. They've said to me, they've said to others that they're looking for approval, and he is part of the approval process, absolutely.
I put it to you like this. After watching over 60-something people in a succession get wiped out to the point where now I'm in charge, I'm not sticking my head out from up under no rock. Are you kidding me? I'm not stepping out on the patio to get any sun or any fresh air or a bottle of water. I'm not running to the convenience store to get me something to drink. I'm not doing any of that. I'm in a bunker. I'll be like Hitler in the final days. I'm down in a bunker, baby. You're going to have to use a bunker buster to get me to come out. Be embedded like a tick. Whether he alive or not. You notice you haven't seen any of their leaders on TV saber rattling or anything. No.
Have you spoken to him directly? You said you want to meet with him.
No, I have not. I would if he'd like to, but I have not spoken to him directly.
Do you know where he is?
I will tell you, they do.
How he is?
Yeah,
Why are you?
they do pay homage.
Stop asking stupid questions. You're literally asking me military strategy in this interview. I'm not answering that question. What a stupid question. I mean, I get it. She's doing her job. But I mean, in all honesty, it's a stupid question. You really think I'm going to tell you?
To him, I would tell you if they didn't. They seem to, based on what I see, they seem to respect him a great deal.
Do you know where he is? Do you know how he is doing physically?
I don't want to say whether or not I know where he is, but there's a good probability that I do.
Yeah, they know where he is.
I'd rather not say that.
Okay, he is the son of the last supreme leader, who was obviously hardliner. Is this younger Khomeini any better for the United States than his father was?
Younger, I think more rational, injured. He's pretty badly injured. So there's a certain bravery there. A lot of people, if they were injured that badly, they wouldn't be talking about, how we doing with the United States. They'd have other things on their mind. So there's a certain bravery there. But he is very seriously injured, yeah.
What is the status of talks exactly in this moment? How close are you to making a deal? Are we talking about days, weeks, months, Mr. President?
I think we're very close. We have a couple of points. They don't even seem like big points. They've conceded the fact that they will not have nuclear weapons. We had a clause in there that we will not develop nuclear weapons, and everybody was very happy with it except me. And I said, well, what happens if they not develop, but they go out and purchase? They acquire. I want to put the word, if they buy or purchase or acquire, you've got to have that in there too, because that's not developing. So they don't have the right to develop or purchase, acquire, or buy.
Have they pushed back against that? Is that one of the sticking points?
A little bit, and then they didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, because you don't want to develop, but that's Charles. You don't want to develop, but at the same time, they can acquire or purchase a nuclear weapon. There's only 3 countries that would be foolish enough to do that. Number 1 is China, who they're probably pissed at because their air defense was, think about it. You're Iran. You just watched the United States invade Venezuela and snatch Maduro up out of his bed, woke him up with a 38. Like, come on, let's go. Snatched him up out of his bedclothes, and they didn't get off a shot. And they were using China's air defense. So now you're Iran and you have China's air defense. So you bite your fingernails, you white knuckling. I thought you said this stuff would work. Well, maybe Maduro didn't use it right. All right, you got to trust it. And then, of course, the United States come in, they wipe you out, kill all of your leaders, damn near 100 leaders, 60 plus leaders. And now you sit up here with pea shooters and blowing spitballs because China's air defense did you no good. So you're probably looking at Russia, who has more nuclear bombs to spare. All you really need is the warhead. So Russia might be number 1, possibly China, but the way England is going, well, actually France. England, I don't know if y'all know what's going on in England, but the best way I can describe what's going on in England with their politics, you say China's thirsty for oil because the United States has Venezuela oil that's supposedly going to China. Also, in all honesty, because the United States actually does, I don't care what anybody say, the United States got control of the Strait of Hormuz. They can shut it down if they want to, but it wouldn't be good globally because this is why oil prices had gone up. So it's best to let the ships go through to bring the oil prices down, but Iran is playing games with the Strait of Hormuz. But I digress. What's going on in England England pretty much had their version of their midterms that we have. In their midterms, I'm just explaining it to you as far as if it was here. In their midterms, their version of the Green Party, Jared Leto. Oh, okay. Oh, Jared Leto. Charles said Jared Leto plays Skeletor. Okay. Well, he voiced Skeletor. Well, I think he just redeemed himself. At any rate, let's get back on target. Their version of the Green Party won the midterms. All right. Their version of the Green Party in England is like MAGA Republicans here. They want to deport all of the illegals. They want to get rid of the Islamists. They want to get rid of the Africans. If you don't belong there, get the hell out, because they have serious crime issues, especially centered around, sexual assault of their daughters, their underage daughters. So I think Republicans is going to remain in the Senate. Oh, and here in America, yeah, we'll get to that. So the Green Party, their version of the Green Party, which you would say is MAGA Republicans, they have taken over so many seats in their Congress and Senate that there's nothing that their version of Republicans or Democrats can do. They pretty much made Keir Starmer a lame duck president. And whatever measure that they want to pass, he can't do anything about it. Matter of fact, they're looking at him after their midterm elections was over with and they lost. They asked him the next day, like, dude, why are you still here? You might as well resign. You're a lame duck president. And I mean, it couldn't be at a better time, because the Islamists almost took over England thanks to Keir Starmer, which wouldn't have been no different than if Kamala Harris had been president. The Islamists, the CCP, and the cartels would have taken over America. This country would be destroyed. We would be a third world country right now. Half of America would be a third world country. It all goes back to defund the police and all of that stuff. You say, yeah, I'm seeing the Green Party is stepping up. So, getting back on track here. In France, not so much. The Islamists are taking over in France as far as politically. So if they can get higher up in government, the Islamists, if they can get higher up in government, more than likely they're going to try to ship a nuclear warhead to Iran if they don't fire it off from France. Because do understand, their biggest target, their number one target as far as Iran is Israel. This is why you got Cenk Uyghur and his idiot nephew, Hassan Piker. They were banned from England. This is why you got Hassan Piker getting ready to got subpoenaed to go to Congress, because you're going to find out that his money is coming from the CCP and the Islamists. All right. You're going to find that out. That's why he's so wealthy. Like, you didn't get rich just by being a damn Twitch streamer. The majority of his income is coming from foreign entities while he lives out in California. Yeah, he's a trader. He is a straight up trader. But then again, he's not an American. He's an American national. So he'll either wind up doing a couple of years in prison and pay a fine, or he might get denaturalized and deported. We'll see. He said Vance would have taken over the president, but Trump cannot resign after another 3 years, which he still has time. I think, well, this is Trump's last go. I mean, the man is over 80. He's 80 years old. He's done after this. He's done. So it's going to come down to Vance and Rubio, but it doesn't really matter, because if Vance wins, Rubio's going to be, will probably serve as his VP. And if Rubio wins, then Vance will serve as his VP. And then they can just either one is going to do 2 terms and then switch, or the other is going to do 2 terms and switch. Either way, you can't go wrong either way. You can't go wrong either way. Rubio's earned his stripes, but Vance is more of a people person, if that makes any sense. He's more polished than Rubio. But it doesn't really matter because they both put America first. But I think France might wind up being the traitor. I think France is going to be the traitor that's going to sneak a nuclear weapon or a nuclear warhead in Iran. I wouldn't be surprised if we wind up catching them doing something like that. If France doesn't fire the nuclear warhead first at the behest of Islamists that have taken over their government. That's just where I'm at. So it's either going to be Russia or China that's going to get Iran a nuclear weapon, or it's going to be France. It's going to be one of those 3 countries. It's going to be one of those 3 countries. So we'll see. Oh, and speaking of American politics, the Republican base, look, by the time November comes around, because you see what they're doing out in California, where all of a sudden you had over 20,000 votes, mail-in ballots that came in, and not a one of them was for Spencer Pratt. They're out there trying to cheat. So therefore, the state attorney general that Trump sent out there to investigate the fraud out in California, he's now overseeing for looking for voter fraud. And of course, there's a lot of voter fraud out there in California, to the point where they're now going to stop mail-in ballots, which I think is excellent. If you're going to do a mail-in ballot, it needs to be in before the day. It needs to be in by the day of voting, and it has to count. It has to count. You have to open it up, send it through a machine, and your social security number needs to be registered. As a matter of fact, it should be everybody that gets a mail-in ballot need to put in a special code based on their social security number. And then boom, all you gotta do is just do the little circulars, the little punch cards or whatever. Remember, you take a test and you gotta fill in A, B, C, D. That should be on the thing where you do your social security number. And once they run it through the machine, if the number is valid, everything shows, yes, you're a California resident, blase, blase, boohoo, then boom. But if you're not, this person is dead, you've got this social security number that voted 17,000 times or whatever, then all of those are invalid. That's the way it should be set up with mail-in ballots up until the day of the election. Outside of that, because you do have military members or whatnot and everything, but outside of that, no. And you should make November 4th, 5th, whatever, you should have a national holiday on election day. So that way everybody has a chance to vote. Everybody has a chance to vote. That way everybody does get a chance to vote. But I just work here. Anyway, let's get back to this. I'm sorry.
You have been saying for months, Mr. President, that Iran is begging to make a deal.
True.
If they are so desperate to make a deal, why haven't they made a deal with you yet?
Because it's a very hard thing for them. They've had great independence. They've dealt with very weak and ineffective leadership on behalf of the United States and other countries, frankly, that allowed them to get away with murder. And I think they can't believe they're in the situation where they've been virtually decapitated.
But if they're so desperate, Mr. President, why haven't they said yes to the terms you're proposing?
Strong, they're proud. There are things they never thought they'd be doing that they're going to have to do. They've got no choice. And it takes a little while. You know, you're talking about 47 years of getting away with whatever they wanted. I mean, this should have been done long ago. This should have been done by other presidents or other countries. It doesn't have to be us, other countries. But they were very close to having a nuclear weapon twice. That was when I terminated the Iran nuclear deal, which was a path. That deal, the JCPOA, that deal was tantamount to giving them a nuclear weapon. It was a horrible deal given by Barack Obama. and really penned by him. It was a horrible deal. It was, it expired long ago. I terminated it. But had I not terminated it, it expired long ago. It was a short-term deal. It was a road to a nuclear weapon. They would have had a nuclear weapon 5 years ago.
But Mr. President, I'm curious because when you were campaigning, you said you would rip up the Iran nuclear deal, but negotiate a better deal.
That's
Why
what I'm
didn't you
doing.
negotiate a better deal at the time? Because after it was ripped up,
doesn't go
there
that
weren't
fast.
guardrails and they
Excuse-
escalated their
excuse
production
me.
of enriched uranium.
Excuse me. It takes years to do these things. These people have been fighting for 47 years. They've been killing Americans. They've been taking off their legs and their arm, and their faces have been hurt so badly and so horribly. I'm moving very fast. I'm into 3 months. Vietnam lasted 19 years. I'm into my 3rd month, and all I do is say, whoa, when are you going to win? If I were a Democrat, nobody would be talking that way, but it doesn't matter to me. I've gotten so used to it. Look, we have totally destroyed their military. They have some missiles left. They have some drones left.
Do you know how many missiles?
Yes, exactly.
How many?
I don't want to tell you.
Can you give me a
Christ,
ballpark?
woman.
Left. No, but I know almost to the number, and we know where they are too. And we know where their drones are, and we know where their drone factories are. Most of the drone factories have been knocked out. Most of the launching pads have been knocked out, and most of the missile manufacturing areas have been knocked out, but they still have capacity. They have some missiles, they have some drones. I would say percentage-wise, maybe 21, 22% of their missiles. It's a lot of missiles, but it's not what it was when we first attacked.
So you're saying they have 21, 22% of their missiles left?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Let's talk about what specifically you are demanding as a part of this short-term deal. Will the United States agree to a deal with Iran that doesn't explicitly and immediately give up its nuclear enrichment program on the front end?
Well, depending on when you say immediately, look, it is buried under mountains because our B-2s were incredible. The pilots of our B-2s were unbelievable. And it's buried. They can't get it. The only 2 countries that could take it, that have the equipment to take, you have to understand, 3 mountains have fallen in on them, right? So you understand that because the fake news was going around saying, oh, maybe they didn't hit their target. 1 o'clock in the morning, pitch black, no moon, no nothing. And every one of those bombs went right down those chutes, blew up. They can't get it no matter what. I mean, they can get it, I guess, with years of work. But the only 2 countries that can get it are us and China, because we're the only 2 with the equipment that's capable of doing that kind of work. And it would take weeks of digging. So the answer is, yeah, we're going to do it immediately. We're going to start looking very quickly, and we'll do it with them. If we make a deal,
With
we'll
China.
do it with them. No, we're going to do it with the
With
Iranians.
Iran, stupid.
So if we make a deal, that means we'll be friendly. We'll do it with
Excuse me.
the Iranians. If we don't make a deal, we may do it, or we may just watch it. We have cameras on it all over it. If anybody walked there, if you walked over there, I would be able to read your first name on your lapel. And these are cameras up in space. It's pretty amazing technology. Space Force. We have cameras all over the site. Goes there. If anybody went there, any digging mechanism, any truck, any tractors, anything, anybody went there, we would know. We will take care of it. Is that wind or what?
Is that rain?
That's rain.
What is that?
This would be the first of multiple interruptions due to the weather.
Yeah,
Rain hit
you know when rain hits a roof, boy. You know when rain hits a metal roof. If you have a metal roof or anything metal outside, yeah, you know. Come on.
We can hear a little bit of rain.
No, a lot of rain.
A lot of rain. Let me try to get a clear understanding of how the United States would get the nuclear material out. You've called it nuclear dust.
Yeah.
Will you and would you be open to sending in U.S. forces to retrieve the nuclear stockpile?
So the official name is highly enriched uranium. And I call it nuclear dust because it seemed to be nice and everyone understands it better and it's sort of cute and people picked it up. But the way you do it is if we make a deal, that now we're friendly, we'll all go together. It'll be our equipment. We'll take it out and destroy it, whether it's on site or whether we take it off site.
So that would require U.S. forces.
Well, that will require we will have a deal. We'll be friendly. In other words, we will have made a deal, and we will be at peace, and we will go with them or without them, but we won't have people shooting at us. Okay.
Yeah, but then here's the thing. It's just come down the pike. Israeli military launched strikes on Iran following attacks on northern Israel. Israel launched airstrikes on central and western Iran in response to missile fire from Iran. I'm like, why, Iran? Why are you firing missiles? Why are you firing missiles at Israel? This is exactly what I'm talking about. These Islamists are zealots. They need to be Order 66. You got to get rid of these people. Even with a supposed ceasefire. That's why Trump, I understand what she's saying. So you're going to work with Iran to get the uranium out of there? Like, no, you cannot send American troops across that border because these people are psychopaths. They are liars. They're animal and child rapists. You cannot send people across that border. You just can't. You just can't. You better hire some Venezuelans. Put them on Operation Brownie. Send them on the front lines to go dig that stuff up. No. You say Iran launched missiles at Israel earlier, raising the possibility of return to heavy fighting and complicating mediation efforts to end the skirmish. The exchange of strikes between Israel and Iran further strained efforts to reach a permanent ceasefire in their ongoing war. I mean, it's just ridiculous. These people, they got to go.
Now, if we don't make a deal, then we're going to take them out militarily very harshly. And we'll wait till we do that before we go away.
Mr. President, I wonder, how long are you willing to give Iran to make a deal? How much longer? You've been talking for quite some time.
Well, you really haven't. You were in Vietnam for 19 years. You were in Iraq for many years. You were in Korea for many, many years. You were in all the, I won't even talk about World War II because that was the big one. And we don't want to ever have that. But
you don't want World War 11.
You were in all these different wars for many years with thousands and thousands of people killed. We've had 13 people killed, which I hate. We've had 13 people killed, and that includes 2 wars. That's Venezuela, and that's Iran.
But do you have a cutoff point in your head?
No, but you keep talking about speed, Kristen. You were in Vietnam for 19 years, and you tell me about 3 months. And in 3 months, I've demolished the Navy, the Air Force, anti-aircraft. They have no radar. They have no nothing. I demolished their leaders. Their leaders are gone.
Do you know where all of Iran's nuclear material is?
Yes.
Sir? Yes. Would you unfreeze any Iranian assets or lift any sanctions up front as a part of any deal? So that would come after.
Comes after, yeah. If
they
behave,
turned
if they
over
do a good
their
job,
nuclear enrichment
talking, yeah.
material.
Unlike Obama. Obama flew a Boeing 757, a plane I know very well. They took the seats out and they loaded it up with $1.7 billion in cash from the banks in Maryland and Virginia and DC. They emptied out the banks and they gave them 1.7 in green, and they gave them tens of billions of dollars, just kept giving them money, and it didn't work.
Would any, again,
that never works.
But again, Mr. President, you promised that you were going to negotiate a better deal. Do you wish you'd done it in your first term when you ripped it up before you ripped up?
No, they weren't ready. No, this is much better. This is much better. If I would have done it in my first term, Israel wouldn't have been ready. Hear that sound? That sound of thunder, lightning.
Is that going to interrupt, guys?
No.
Okay.
People will understand. We're on a farm.
That's true. Will any deal you make include the release of Americans who are being held by Iran?
Well, we talk about it and we'll see. Nobody really has an accurate list of who they are, what they are, or if they're being held. But if they're, we've been talking about it. Nobody really has a list. You know that, right? You're asking me about, nobody has a list.
But are you
I'm trying to figure out, why would you as an American citizen take your Scooby Dooby Doo self over to Iran? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? I mean, post 1974, why would you take your monkey Zad over to Iran? That is the stupid. But you know what? You talking about people that like to lay in the grass and commune with apes and gorillas and whatnot. So I mean, if you got captured by Iran because you were over in Iran because you want to partake in the culture, then that's on you.
You demanding a list? Are you demanding to know and saying they've got to come home?
You're supposed to give me the list. I mean, do you know people that we're talking about? If you give me the names, I'll do my best to get them out.
I don't think that's been reported.
Huh?
I don't think it.
Names, give them to me, and I will get them out.
But is it something you talk to them about?
We talk about people if they have them, but nobody knows who they are.
So you asked the question. So why Obama always mentioned when he answering questions? Because Obama was, quote unquote, according to modern standards, the last great Democratic president, which, I mean, to us with any common sense, especially us black folks, he was not. But he did a lot of stupid stuff. Or Trump is just following up on things that Obama has done, like with ICE. He's just following up on what Obama has done concerning ICE. He's righting the wrongs that Obama did with Iran and a few other things. This is why he brings up Obama, because like, you guys never gave him any pushback on this. Why the hell would giving Iran billions of dollars is like you handing over your lunch money to the school bully, thinking that he's not going to beat you up anymore. It was very stupid. It was very stupid. But that's why he always do that. He wants to do the comparison thing. You know how black people always comparing themselves to white folks, you know? White people do it too. It's the same stupid argument. You know what I'm saying? You can't really compare yourself to them. And I hate when he does it too. But I understand why he do it. Just like I understand why black people compare themselves to white people, because they want white people to love them. They want the white people to see them as an equal when, you know, you don't act like you're an equal. You're always on the defensive and self-victimizing. So fuck you. That's the way they look at it, because that's the way you look at them. So it's a back and forth. Just Obama and Trump, same difference. Same difference.
It's like you don't know who they are.
You have openly said you've been frustrated by Israel's continued bombing of Lebanon. Are you and Prime Minister Netanyahu on the same page?
Yeah, we are. We get along very well. We've been great comrades. We did a very, very big number on a certain country that was nothing but trouble for 47 years. I disagree with him on a couple of things. I'd like to see Lebanon have a better life. I'd like to see a more surgical attack on Hezbollah. I think it should be more surgical. And we can help them with that, or we can recommend Syria. Syria is doing a very good job of cleaning up their act. They have a very good leader. They have a leader that's really done a good job in a short period of time, and he would love to help.
Are you demanding that Lebanon be a part of the short-term deal that you're negotiating?
I'm not demanding.
Okay.
I think they'd like to see it, but I'm not demanding.
Okay. I wonder if we should, let me just get it.
Lebanon want to be involved so bad.
5 minutes and let this pass. I just want to be able to hear everything he said.
Yeah, because you're getting drowned out.
The rain did not stop, but neither did our interview. When we come back, President Trump on his promise to never start a new war. Consistent campaign promises, Mr. President. One of your consistent campaign promises was no new wars, going all the way back to 2015.
We're not in a war.
Did you break that promise to the American people?
I had to stop a country, very powerful, very dangerous country, from having a nuclear weapon because they'd use it. They'd blow up the world. They'd blow up the Middle East. They'd blow up Israel. They'd come here. They'd blow up Europe. They're nuts, okay? They're crazy people. I deal with them. And very high-strung people, a little crazy. And get along with them. I like them. But you don't want to let them have a nuclear weapon. And I'm doing the world a service, but I'm doing our country a service. You know, it's America first. I'm doing our country a service. Nice rain.
It is raining hard. Okay.
But the answer is...
Now, see, they moved closer. They brought their seats closer. But I'll say it again. All it takes is one country to fire a nuclear weapon, and you're probably at 85% looking at mutually assured destruction. And you can't have that because then that's the end of... They'll pretty much be the extermination of the human race as far as being the dominant species on this planet. We'd be wiped out. We'd be wiped out. The cockroaches will be in charge. Or the robots. We'll be wiped out. You can't have it. You can't have it. You can't have not one country fire a nuclear weapon at another country. It would be over. It'd be game over.
Let's just keep going.
Let's keep going.
Let's power through it, right?
Here, we paused nearly 5 minutes for the rain to pass and then picked up our conversation.
So you're saying you didn't break your promise, and yet, Mr. President, in your first term, you held to that promise, and it was so fundamental to who you were as a candidate.
We're not at war.
President, what?
We're not at war. We're dealing with terrorist extremists who just can't seem to get their fingers off the triggers. Hello, they just attacked Israel again. They're bombing ships out in the straits. They can't keep their word. We keep having ceasefires, and we ceasefire. Pow pow. I mean, what part of this are you not getting? You goofy spiders, makeup, and weave wearing heifer.
Changed because you insisted no new wars.
First of all, I didn't guarantee no war. Why would I have built the strongest military in the world? I built our military. I inherited a terrible military. We had no equipment. We had nothing. I built a tremendous military. Biden gave a lot of it away, but it's still a relatively small portion compared to what I built.
But you said it
Wait a
over
minute.
and over again.
Why would I build a military? Now,
she is frustrated.
I didn't want to use this, but I'm doing you and everybody else a big favor. In the midst of the greatest stock market in history, in the midst of the most successful country, because as you know, in the last time we were a dead country, Kristen. I know you're a big liberal, a big progressive.
No,
but
I'm just a journalist.
No, you're a big liberal.
A year ago, a couple of years ago, we were a dead country. Now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. And at the all-time hottest point, which is probably now, believe it or not, we just had all brand new stock market records today. But at the hottest point in the history of our country, I took Scott, Howard, I took Pete, I took everybody into a room. I said, I have to do this country, this world, the Middle East, Israel, everybody a favor. You have Iran. They're going to have a nuclear weapon. Barack Hussein Obama signed the JCPOA. It was a horrible deal. Horrible deal. Listen to me. It was a horrible deal. It was a path to them getting a nuclear weapon. They were very close to having
You didn't hear that? She says she's not a liberal, but you didn't hear that when she sucked her teeth? Peep this. Listen. Let me cut the music off. She not a liberal, but she sucked her teeth when he said that. This bucking bitch.
Israel, everybody a favor. You have Iran. They're going to have a nuclear weapon. Barack Hussein Obama signed the JCPOA. It was a horrible deal. Horrible deal. Listen.
You hear that? Listen.
Iran. They're going to have a nuclear weapon. Barack Hussein Obama signed the JCPOA. It was a horrible deal. Horrible deal. Listen.
You hear that? I'm not a liberal. I'm just a journalist. No, you're not.
To me, it was a horrible deal. It was a path to them getting a nuclear weapon. They were very close to having a nuclear weapon. I terminated the deal. Wait. Then I sent the B-2 bombers in about 9-10 months ago, and they totally obliterated the site, and I saved it. We had a choice. We could let them have a nuclear weapon, or we could go along and have some beautiful days. But they would have, it's a judgment. They would have used the nuclear weapon. And you know what? When people hear that whole scenario, when they hear me say Iran was going to have a nuclear weapon, and they're crazy, they say you're doing the right thing. I don't think it's you'll do polls because they're all fake polls anyway, especially yours. But you do polls. I just won a big election. And the reason I won an election is people have confidence in me, have good judgment. I had to make a judgment. Do I want to go along and have a country that's doing really well, but somebody is going to try and kill us? Or do I want to put out that horrible threat? And I did. I put it out. I put it out for many, many years. Now I'm going to put it out permanently. I'm going to do it either through negotiation, where we're very close to a deal, or I'm going to blow the hell out of them, to be honest with you. And it's going to be very easy for me to do. That's actually the easier path. So,
that's funny because we just came from the He-Man movie, and I don't want to give away the third act, but this was pretty much the same philosophy. If I can't talk to you, then I'll just beat the ever-loving ish out of you and make you submit. Same philosophy.
You say, I promised. I didn't promise anything. I don't like these endless wars. This is not an endless war. We've been doing this for 3 months. Much of it has been under the form, a pretty good form of ceasefire. The blockade has been amazing. Our Navy is amazing. Our military is the best in the world. Hey, we took over a very powerful country, Venezuela, a lot of soldiers, big, strong military. We took over Venezuela in a matter of minutes. We destroyed the capability of Iran in a matter of days. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Now I'm going to finish it. But remember, you were in Vietnam 19 years because stupid people. You were in so many different countries. Every war you were in for years. Look at Iraq. Look what you were. You were there for years.
Yeah. Let them run it.
Listen, we're there for a few months, and the threat is largely over. Soon it will be over. But you cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon, or they will blow you up. There will be no Kristen. There will be no NBC. There will be no Meet the Press. You will end the Meet the Press string.
Let me ask you, though, during your 2016 campaign, you called the Middle East a quagmire. What makes you so sure this won't become a quagmire?
We're not going to be there.
You're convinced this won't become a quagmire?
It's not a quagmire. I just wiped out the military of a very dangerous country, and I wiped out the nuclear threat. Let me tell you, if we left tomorrow, if we just said, all right, let's get out, it'll take them 15 or 20 years to rebuild back. But I'm not going to give them even that chance. I'm not going to give them that chance. They cannot have a nuclear weapon. And if there was even a 1% chance that they'd have it, I wouldn't leave. We're almost finished. We're going to either have a deal, a strong deal, a meaningful deal, not like the Obama thing. Obama was a path to a nuclear weapon. Mine is the exact opposite. And mine is a wall. It's a wall, just like I built 1,000 miles of wall on our southern border. And by the way, I took the worst border in history and I made it the best border in history.
I want to run
in a matter of weeks.
And yet,
him and Kamala and all the other morons. I want them to run.
Closest to developing weapons-grade uranium after you ripped up the nuclear deal because there were no guardrails in place.
They were developing it during the nuclear deal. You don't know that? Iran, when Obama signed that stupid deal where he paid them billions and billions of dollars, he thought he could bribe them. Listen to me. They were developing a nuclear weapon. That's how they got there. They got all of this uranium during Obama. You know that, don't you? Well, that's how they got
there. Yes or no, Christian?
They got there. They developed it during the Barack Hussein Obama, during his administration.
They've escalated their development after the deal was wrapped up. Let's talk about the economy. I want to talk about the economy.
If I didn't go in there with the B-2 bombers, they would right now have a nuclear weapon And it could be that half of the world would be eradicated.
Let me ask you about the economy. You got a strong jobs report today that beat expectations.
Not strong. Really strong.
Beat expectations.
By how much?
It's
Triple.
172,000 jobs created.
That's pretty strong.
And yet, gas is up, diesel is up.
It's all coming down as soon as the war's over.
Well, 70% of farmers say they can't afford fertilizer. What's
the
your
farmers
message?
Are doing very well.
Let me ask you, what is your message to farmers? Many who support you, but who say
All
they're
of them
struggling. Who say
because
they're
there's
struggling.
nobody been better to farm. You know, I gave farmers last term $28 billion because China took advantage and other people. And you know who paid for it? China. Last term. You know, I had a great first term. I had the greatest economy ever. And you know what? This one's blowing it away.
What's your message to farmers, though, Mr. President, who say they are struggling? They're struggling to make ends meet.
Are you ready? Am I allowed to talk? You keep asking questions and you don't listen to the answers. I love the farmers, and the farmers love me, and the farmers trust me. In the first term, I had something very similar. China and others were, and Canada, which was brutal, they were taking advantage of our farmers. They don't take advantage of it anymore.
Because of the
I
tariff.
gave them $28 billion split up. They never had a payday like that. And the farmers loved me, and they came back and they voted for me in record numbers. You know that nobody's ever even come close. Now, because of the fact that we had a choice, I had a choice to make. I could keep it going. The farmers were doing great. Fertilizer was very cheap. Everything was cheap. Gasoline was very low. Everything was very low. I could have kept it that way, but I said I have to take a little bit of a turn. The farmers are going to understand it better than anybody. We're going to have a higher gasoline. We're going to have a little higher fertilizer, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm going to get rid of a nuclear weapon in the hands of very dangerous people. Excuse me, wait. It should have been done for 47 years. No president had the guts to do it. I did it, and I've done it. It's almost complete. As soon as that's complete, gasoline prices are going to drop like a rock. You know, I was in Iowa speaking about farms, and it was before we attacked Iran. And I was in Iowa, and the prices were $1.85 a gallon, $1.91 a gallon. What?
This time, it wasn't the rain, but an audio issue that forced us to pause the interview again.
Are gas prices going higher or have they peaked?
Okay, I see the frustration. I can see how the frustration is building. I mean, outside of her redundant, silly questions, where she's asking for military info, she's being obtuse about why we had to attack Iran. I mean, I get it. You got to keep making these stops. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I would rather pay $2 extra or $1.50, whatever, $2 extra a gallon in gas for a couple of months than have Islamist terrorists have a nuclear weapon. I mean, bitching about gas is some serious first world problems right now. You act like you paying $20 a gallon, or you're barely paying $4, paying like $3 something right now, and the gas prices are starting to drop. You act like it's killing you. Here's an idea: stop eating out. Stop being such an entitled piece of crap. Stop eating out all the time. Buy some groceries. Yeah, they're a little higher, but a pack of chicken, some ground beef, some instant noodles or whatnot, you can buy that and tighten your belt for a couple weeks. You don't need a 6-pack of beer or whatever, or you don't need to go out to the bar. You don't need to hang out with your buddies. You ain't got to go to whatever you do recreationally. You don't have to do that. If you don't do that, you won't be bitching about gas prices and trying to survive or whatnot. Stop. You don't have to buy your kids junk food all the time and candy. Get some a loaf of bread and a thing of jelly. Make them eat peanut butter jelly sandwiches. They want something sweet? Here. Have a jelly sandwich, peanut butter and jelly. And some milk. Enjoy yourself. Here. Buy some dough or whatever. Make some biscuits. You know what I'm saying? Be a goddamn parent. Do some actual cooking. Because in all honesty, if you ask me, when you see the people who are online bitching and moaning and whining and complaining about high gas prices or whatnot, the people who, I mean, they look like her. Spiders, makeup, weave, tattoos all over the place, trying to live an entitled lifestyle, not willing to make any type of financial sacrifices, but complaining. Shut up. Just shut up. Shut the up. Stop bitching all the time. Damn.
Become low, very low. They're going to go lower than they were before.
Have they peaked?
They soon, well, it depends. I mean, it depends where the war goes. It could be I'll have to give them a shot, and it could be we'll sign an agreement. If we sign an agreement, they'll go down now. Otherwise, they'll go down after we're finished.
You have a new Fed chair, Kevin Warsh.
Yeah.
His first meeting in the role is later this month. After this month's jobs report, economists now say it's possible the Fed may have to raise rates. Do you think that's possible, and what would your reaction be, sir?
So I'm of a different feeling. I think Kevin's fantastic, and I want him to do whatever he wants. I don't want to have a big influence on him. But we had a great report. We're doing great. And it's unfair that whenever you do great, they want to raise interest rates. It should be the opposite way. You know, if you go back 15 or 20 years, when you had good reports, the market went up. Nowadays, when you have good reports, the market goes down because they think they're going to raise interest rates. There's no reason to raise interest rates. The country becomes great. We built the country by doing great and having rates low. What they do is when they raise interest rates, they try and kill success. I don't want to kill success. We should actually lower interest rates. Now, if inflation comes, and you know, people live with inflation, but if inflation comes, what happens is you stamp it out. But success can kill inflation, just like higher interest rates. What they do now is, like, we had great job numbers. You agree, right?
They beat expectations.
Not expectations, like 3 times. Okay, but you ready? What do? They say, oh, let's raise interest rates. It's the wrong thing to do. I would like to see rates get lower, because we could build this into the greatest machine that the world has ever seen. But you can't do that when everybody immediately raises interest rates. So we had great job numbers. We're doing great. You know, we're building more factories. We have more money coming into our country right now from other countries and people than ever before. Wait a minute. What happens? I don't want to just kill it with high interest rates. Growth is the greatest thing you can have. And growth does not cause inflation.
Would you?
Yeah, I mean, like, in all honesty, I have to be honest with it when it comes to the Fed chair. Like, I just re-signed our lease, right? Because I want to buy a house. I knew that this year was not the right time, you know, to buy a house because interest rates are still high. Because of the tariffs and the money that's coming in, and now you have a new Fed chair like Kristen is talking about, and that's the perfect shot for her because she is a mean-spirited, spiteful woman trying to hide it under the guise of being a reporter. But at any rate, I know I sound like Trump. But at any rate, maybe that's why I like the way he talks. At any rate, I'm waiting on the interest rates to come down. But you got people on the left saying that, oh, you should now raise them a little higher because they're trying to squeeze that blood from a turnip. You understand? So there's like, oh, well, now there's more money flowing in the country. Let's squeeze it so that way, because do understand, Trump shut down the Democratic criminal empire when he killed USAID, the Board of Education, shut down the NGOs, and now he's tightening the purse strings with federal loans to states. And now you've got them now investigating fraud of federal funds across the United States. You have shut down their financial criminal empire. You're killing it now. So if they raise rates, they can try to backdoor steal that money and funnel it back into their machine. And of course, you have some Republicans that's part of it too. I'm not going to sit up here and lie. But the majority is Democrats. So they want to raise the rate so that way they can continue to fund their little criminal empire. But no, bring the rates down. I'm going to give it another year, see what happens. And if it drops low enough to where a house that was going for $250K, if I can get it at $150K, then boom, let's sign on the dotted line. But right now, it's not the time.
To be upset if they raised rates. What is your message to them about that?
Living with Kevin, I have a lot of respect for him. But my feeling is that when a country is doing well, they shouldn't be penalized by immediately raising interest rates. They should actually be incentivized. You know, we have debt, we have other things, we have things we want to take care of. I want to go bigger on the military, I really do. If we do what I'm saying, this will be a beautiful, well-oiled machine like you've never seen before.
And when we come back, President Trump defends his controversial plan. This $1.8 billion so-called anti-weaponization fund, it was going to compensate people who say the federal government weaponized the legal system against them.
They did.
Blocked by the courts, met with opposition from Republicans
and Democrats
in Congress and Democrats.
Excuse me, mostly Democrats.
Mostly
some
Democrats and some Republicans.
Some, very few Republicans.
Just to be very clear, are you backing off the fund completely, as your acting Attorney General Todd Blanche has said, or are you looking for another avenue to revive
So
the
let me
fund?
explain what the fund is. People have been hurt so badly by radical left lunatics that worked for the Biden administration and Sleepy Joe. They're vicious, they're violent, what they did to people. And of course, they went after me more than anybody else. They raided Mar-a-Lago and all the other things. But people have been badly hurt. They've committed suicide. They've lost their jobs. They've lost their families. They've lost their wives. They've lost everything.
They've lost their
lost
children.
everything over a fake weaponization of government. Now,
So
let
are
me
you
just tell
looking
you.
for a way to revive it?
Well, look, if it was up to me, I'd pay them the kind of money that they deserve. People have been destroyed. Lives have been destroyed. Many suicides. Think of it. People have committed suicide because a bunch of thugs went after them.
You don't-
So, me personally, I think the weaponization fund is a great idea. And so do many other Republicans. You have to get it approved. If they get it approved, that's great. If they don't get it approved, I'd be disappointed.
All right, we're going to.
In all honesty, it's not just about the January 6th people. Do understand under the Biden administration how they were forcing parents to pretty much turn their children over to the state with all of that trans garbage. All right, where if you've named your child Brandon, if your son Brandon all of a sudden wants to pretend, dress up and say he's a girl and his new name is Brenda, but you call him Brandon because you know you're not playing this silly game with your kid. If your child reports you to the school or whatnot, then they consider that child abuse and they'll take your kid from you. They'll charge you with that. The state will strip you of your parental rights of your child and then try to physically trans your child. They'll sterilize your children. You understand? I mean, this is what was seriously going on. I mean, that's just one thing. Then you have with these defund the police and anything under $1,000 is not a criminal offense, where they pretty much made stealing legal. You know how many businesses suffered under that? I mean, that's BS. And you should be able, in all honesty, a lot of these parents and companies should file a class action. Oh, cool. They should file a class action lawsuit against the state and the federal government for damages that these laws have caused in their lives. That's what that fund is all about. So that way, if you go ahead and sue, if you class action or singular, and you can prove your case that you were damaged, then here, you get this money out of this fund. You don't get all the money, but you get some money. Boom, boom, boom. So that way, it's already allocated to dealing with these cases. Because right now you have a situation set up where they say if you were fired due to discrimination because of your race or sex, and you can prove it, like what was going on with Disney and all of these other companies, and you can prove that it was based on your sex or your race or your religion, then you have a case. You just have to be able to prove that this is why you were fired. Do you understand? So it's no different. It's no different. But of course, the majority Democrats and enough Republicans struck it down. But if I'm the injured party, matter of fact, like prime example, all 4 Walmarts in Chicago are gone because of theft. As I keep trying to tell people, stop stealing, and maybe people will stop following you around in the stores. But I guess black people act like other races of people are obligated to like them no matter what. Nobody's obligated to like your black ass. Get over it. You don't like them, they don't like you. So what? Find a way to bridge the gap or continue to stay at odds. But don't say it's racism. It's because of your behavior. 9 times out of 10, it's just that it's majority you. Because you're not the business owner. You're not the store owner. They are. You're just the unruly customer or whatever. But I'm getting off point. Walmart, be it the ones in Portland, the 2 that they lost in Oregon, or the 4 that they lost in Chicago, the Save a Lot or the Tops grocery stores that they lost in San Francisco, or whatever, the 700 McDonald's that they lost in California, because all of this is because of theft and criminality, because of the laws that were passed by these states. If they want to, as corporations, they can file a class action lawsuit against the state and federal government for gross negligence and incompetence. They pretty much facilitated crime, which hurt businesses tremendously. They can sue. They truly can sue. You as a parent, they stripped you of your parental rights because you wouldn't play the freaking pronoun son in a dress game. You can sue. That's crazy. That's communism. That's fascism. All this crap that they screaming about in these streets, that's true communism / fascism. Well, if you don't agree with me, we as a state entity will take from you. We as a state entity will allow your businesses to be destroyed. This is why when Elon Musk bought Twitter, you see cancel culture from the left just went boom, it was gone. They stopped being an influential mouthpiece. Although I have to admit, cancel culture was really killed off by Bob Chapek when he took over Disney for the months that he did, because he threatened to fire anybody at Lucasfilm, which was the head of cancel culture at the time on Twitter. He threatened to fire anybody that was caught doing that. And therefore, boom, if you notice, cancel culture like fizzled out almost overnight on Twitter. And then Elon Musk bought it. And now you see left-wing outlets, media outlets, just falling by the wayside ever since Trump got elected. But I digress. They can sue individuals, businesses, be mom and pop or corporate businesses. They can sue the federal government and their state and local government for damages. That's what that fund was all about. And I think what it was, the Democrats and some Republicans didn't want to set a precedent of these people being able to sue and have rights to that money. They wanted to make it hard for them, but the seed has been planted. We'll see who takes advantage, whether the fund is there or not.
To motor through this.
But you have to understand, people have been destroyed by crooked politicians, and they should be reimbursed for that.
Do you
More
think
than likely. I
anyone who
believe you.
attacked police officers on January 6th should get taxpayer money?
I wouldn't be inclined to say so, but I have to see it. I can tell you this, 97% of those people, you look at them, the FBI or whoever it was, because you had a lot of crooked cops, you had dirty cops. Comey was a dirty cop.
Well,
A guy
no
like
evidence
Bolton was a
that-
dirty
But
cop.
there's no evidence.
Wait a minute,
that
wait a
people
minute.
who-
Oh, you
even
think Comey was a
170
straight
people
cop?
who pleaded guilty to assaulting police
Comey
officers.
was a dirty.
He's not talking about the Trump has already said that, because you still have people who during the January 6th situation, you still have people that are in prison because they did truly actually assault police officers. But you have people who was that January 6th situation, they didn't even go into the Capitol. They didn't go into the building. They was just standing there with a protest sign or whatnot, or out there with their camera phones just recording the actions or whatnot. And they got prosecuted and convicted and went to prison. Those are the people who wound up getting pardons. Not all of them were like that, but a lot of them were. Sorry, StreamYard acting funny. I don't know what the hell happened. Okay. Live show. Let me take it back. So, as I remember myself saying, you had a lot of people who were innocent bystanders who were there, you know, they were there protesting, or they were recording with their phones, you know, being media or whatever. You had a lot of people who had nothing to do with the people who went into the Capitol. They were there, but they didn't go into the Capitol. They was just part of the little protest or what the hell ever. And those people wound up getting arrested and prosecuted and sent to prison. Those are the people that Trump pardoned. But the people who actually assaulted Capitol police officers and other staffers, he didn't pardon them. He let them people rot. Them people are still in prison. Those people are still in prison. But everybody else who was just like, well, I was just there waving the flag. Oh, you getting 5 years in prison, 10 years in prison because you were a part of an insurrection. Like, what? An insurrection without weapons? How does that make any sense? But you know, that's fascism. But she worried about that. Talking about, well, the people who assaulted Capitol Hill police officers, chick, they still in prison. They didn't get pardoned. Them people are serving their full sentences. Trump don't play that crap. What is you talking about?
No,
They had
but the people who
FBI
assaulted police
Listen to me.
officers.
They had FBI agents ushering them into the building. They had FBI go into the building. Those people walking around there looking always in the side. They weren't in. They were
There's
being
no
ushered
evidence
into
of
the
that,
building.
sir.
Yes,
A
there is.
bunch of dirty cops. And frankly, what they did was weaponization of our
But
government.
sir, there's no evidence of that. More than 1,000
No,
people.
there's
pleaded
none.
guilty to
You know what you
crimes.
do? Try
Would
looking
you-
at the tapes one time.
Would you take it off
Look
the
at
table?
the tapes
Okay,
one
but
time.
172 people did plead guilty to assaulting police officers.
You know why they pled
Should
guilty?
they be exempt?
Because they told they
from
were going to
receiving
jail
funds?
for 15 years if they did.
Should
They
they?
pled guilty because they were frightened. They went down. They were ushered into a building. Many of them were arrested without even going
You'd be
into the
okay
building.
with them receiving taxpayer dollars?
The people were destroyed by dirty cops and by weaponization. Many of those people should be compensated. Now, with that being said, as I understand it, the weaponization fund was going to set up a group of people, people that could be picked by anybody, fair people, smart people, and they will go on an individual case basis.
Okay.
Now, I don't know what's going to happen with the weaponization fund. I love the idea because people like you, the fake, dirty press, the crooked press, people like stupid Biden, he's not smart enough to know what's going on, but people that surrounded his beautiful, resolute desk in the Oval Office, what they did to the lives of people, they destroyed people. They sent people to jail who did nothing
All
wrong.
right, just to be very clear, there's no evidence of what you're saying. But let
There's
me
a
ask
lot
you
of
about
evidence.
Todd Flynn. Let me ask you about
Listen
Todd.
to me.
Let's talk
There's
about Todd Flynn.
tremendous evidence. There's nothing
It's
but
not been
evidence. The
presented in
election
a
was
court of
rigged.
law.
It was a dirty election.
Mr.
And it's
President,
happening again right now
You've
in
never
California.
presented evidence. Evidence to that.
It's
Is she kidding me? Is she kidding me? She talking about, there's no evidence that the election was stolen. Chick, I'm down here in Fulton County. The evidence is overwhelming that they stole Georgia. I don't know what's going on with Pennsylvania, but it's definitely overwhelming evidence that they stole Georgia. You had a reporter pull some Nick I think it was Nick Sorter or whatever. He does what Nick Shirley does. He went and showed the addresses. You had like a tiny little abandoned house that had like 46 people registered to vote at this address. It was what was the other spot? It was several spots like that. One of them was a mail drop spot that the lead attorney uses, for his P.O. box or whatnot, for his mail drops. They had over 146 people having that place because it's a house. It's a converted house. They had 146 people listed as a resident of a registered voter at a mail drop spot. That's just the tip of the iceberg. They had empty lots. We had 80-something people listed as a registered voter at an empty lot where a house once stood. What is she talking about?
4
Republicans
days
are doing well in
California. They're not. They're dropping fast because it's a rigged election. Let me tell you, it's 4 days. And they aren't even close to coming up with it.
That's how they count the votes.
You know why they're doing
in
that? Because they're cheating on the election.
Do you have evidence to support
all
that?
I have to do is look. All I have to do is look.
That's not evidence.
And I listen to people, and let's see what happens.
But sir, that's not evidence.
Do you think it's appropriate?
That's how they count the votes.
What the hell is
It's appropriate that they have an election, and 5 days later they're nowhere close to picking a
State
winner.
and local officials acknowledge they are slow. They're urging.
No, they're crooked.
They're urging the votes to be counted quickly. That's how they vote
They're
in
crooked,
California.
just like you're crooked. Your press is crooked, and Beat the Press is crooked.
To be fair,
Right, because we know it's garbage.
Well, you play right into their hands.
Let's continue.
You're either crooked or you're stupid.
Let's
You play
continue.
right into their hands with this crap. You know that these elections are rigged. Your network knows that they're rigged. You know that I won an election in a landslide, and I got 94% bad press.
But Mr. President,
You know why I
you've
got
never
that?
presented
Because you have no
evidence.
credibility.
But you've never presented evidence that was rigged. Let's keep talking about. I want to talk about Todd.
You
Flynn.
have more evidence. There's more evidence than ever presented.
Let's talk
Your
about.
elections
You
in
went
this
to
country,
court.
we're like a third world country.
But, sir-
Your elections are crooked, and you're crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked,
Mr.
and so
President-
is ABC and CBS and CNN.
But Mr.
You're
President,
one-sided crooked networks. Right, let's call it quits because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
Mr. President, let's please. I
Yeah, 'cause
traveled
she's
all
full
the
of
way
crap.
to Wisconsin.
I've
I
sat in the
traveled
rain
all.
with you.
I know. I
I've sat in the
traveled
rain
all the
with
way
you
to
for an hour,
Wisconsin.
on and off in the rain, and I've given you enough time. You ought to straighten out your press because you know what?
Mr.
A
President,
country can never be
we
great
traveled
with a
all,
dishonest
listen,
press.
we traveled all the way to Wisconsin for this interview.
Yeah, you pissed him off. You pissed him off. You'll be lucky if you get another interview because I think this is like her third or fourth interview with him ever since he got elected. But this one here, she pissed him off because she played stupid. You know the FBI is investigating election fraud down here in Georgia. Also believe they're also I believe Pennsylvania, and now they're currently investigating voter fraud in California with the mayoral election. And they're also going to look into the when they vote for governor. They're also going to look into that with these cheating mail-in ballots that just appear out of nowhere. Just appear out of nowhere with no ability to check them. You just scan them, and it's for this person, this person. Like, I mean, how the hell do you get 20,000 mail-in votes for the mayoral race of California? 20,000 mail-in votes, and not a one of them is for Spencer Pratt, who has shot through the roof when it comes to not just the polls, but in voting. Suddenly now, everybody's voting for Karen Bass and that little communist Indian chick who thought that it was okay to have drug addicts near a school, but then had a damn near panic attack when some people who weren't homeless just set up a fake homeless encampment outside of her house. And I'm so glad my kids didn't see that. Like, yeah, how you think people in California feel who literally have to deal with that on a daily basis? You little twat. These people really think we're stupid. That's the killing part. Imagine her interviewing Putin or Xi Jinping. You know what? The Chinese leader? Oh no, she wouldn't be. No, she'd be executed or sent off to a re-education camp. And as far as Putin is worse than Trump when it comes to honesty. He'll tell you flat out. He's not gonna. I mean, in all honesty, Trump is charming. He's funny when he curses you out. Putin is not. Putin is not. What's up, man? Yeah, Putin is not. But at any rate, so that's why he walked off. She pissed him off. She was being stupid. You know there are FBI investigations going on when it comes to election fraud. We've seen the videos of where they supposedly arrested somebody during the January 6th situation, took them to the back, and then took the handcuffs off, and they high-fiving each other because, it was an FBI plan. We know there were FBI plants in the crowd. We know that. That's already been exposed. But I'm not a liberal. I'm a journalist. Well, then do your damn job be a journalist. But let's just be honest. You're an activist pretending to be a journalist, right? There's tons of evidence. That's why he walked off. Yeah. Oh my God. I have no. I have no patience for these people. I hate when people play the stupid game. And that's exactly what she was playing, the stupid game. That look on her face. At any rate, that's what happened. That's what happened. She played the stupid game and he got sick of it. Nice to know. All right, y'all. It might be I don't know when I'll be back on. Because, back in town for the week. We're going to spend some time together. So I won't have any free time at night. But yeah, your boys, I'm happy. I'm living a good life. But I will catch y'all later. Y'all be safe out there. Peace.
Now, gentlemen, Mr. Butler's been up north, I hear. Don't you agree with this, Mr. Butler?
I think it's hard winning a war with words, gentlemen.
What do you mean, sir?
I mean, Mr. Hamilton, there's not a cannon factory in the whole South.
What difference does that make, sir, to a gentleman?
I'm afraid it's going to make a great deal of difference to a great many gentlemen, sir.
Are you hinting, Mr. Butler, that the Yankees can lick us?
No, I'm not hinting. I'm saying very plainly that the Yankees are better equipped than we. They've got factories, shipyards, coal mines. and a fleet to bottle up our harbors and starve us to death. All we've got is cotton and slaves and arrogance. That's treachery!
I have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Right. Hi. Thanks for the fun.
Get the fuck